Yeah, I be getting more money than you. My life is awesome and I'm banging chicks all the time. But girl, I miss you. Oh, oh. But that's not the reason this is on my list. It comes back to, as it always does, Lil Wayne, who decided to fill his curse quota right out the gate.
Shit, motherfucker, goddamn, kicking bitches.
And then it gets into his standard bragging as usual.
About to scoop your girl up like a ground ball.
Yeah, you can take my girlfriend.
I walk light so I don't piss the ground off.
Blah, blah, wait, what?
I walk light so I don't piss the ground off.
Yeah, wouldn't want to make the ground why is that a concern for you? What, are you afraid of awakening the earth gods or something? Seriously, why has no one questioned this? Why has no one said anything about this lyric? Does Lil Wayne know something about the ground that we don't? Is it sentient? Or has everyone just accepted the fact that Lil Wayne is gonna spout stupid crap from now on? Have we just accepted that?
Yes, nigga, yes, nigga, yes. I do it big, call me little astronomical. Weezy F, baby, and the F is for phenomenal.
Lil Wayne, slap yourself.
Meanwhile, Ian and the Chipettes rehearse, when suddenly they realize that the honeymoon is over.
Alright, let me try something here. Brittany, here, come up here. No, you two stay back. And a little further. Oh, yeah. Get a little more separation from you guys. Yeah, let's give her some room. Give her some room, guys. Back. Okay. All right, watch me now. 1, 2, 3.
A young group of female singers who are suddenly broken up when one of them is glorified more than the others. Why does this sound so familiar? Guys, can you please turn down Beyonce? I'm trying to remember who this reminds me of. To make matters worse, not only is Ian abusing the Chipettes, but his recording of the music competition got the attention of a record label. And he actually managed to book the Chipettes to be the opening act for Britney Spears. And he has no intention to let them represent their school at the other music competition, which leaves the school high and dry.
I've got a whole bunch of points to bring up, but the first thing that you're going to notice is that there's no one thing wrong with this movie. Everything is wrong with it. There's no one element of the production that doesn't have some kind of deep, crippling flaw, and these flaws multiply each other. Bad acting makes a bad script worse, bad editing calls attention to bad acting, bad cinematography makes bad editing all the more unbearable. Even the parts that, strictly speaking, aren't incompetent are pulled down by everything else. Solid animation and effects work looks terrible when it's combined with clunky choreography or is just really poorly stitched together. No matter how realistic your fake lemur looks, the effect is going to look like crap if the actor is clearly waving their hands at empty space, looking at nothing in particular.
There must be thousands of them on this mountain.
One time the scorpion walked up to the frog and he said, "Mr. Frog, I need to get to the other side of the pond. I can't swim."
Right.
So the frog looked at the scorpion and said, "Man, I'm not going to take you across to the other side. If I take you to the other side, you're going to sting me."
Right.
So the scorpion looked, he said, "Think about it. Why would I sting you and I can't swim? If I sting you, you're going to drown, I'm going to drown. We both dead."
Right.
So the frog thought about it. He said, "You're right." He said, "Hop on. I take you across." So the scorpion hopped on his back and they was going across, in the water swimming. Mm-hmm. As they get like almost in the middle of the pond, the scorpion stung him. Bam! So the frog looked up to him and said, "Why did you do that? Why did you sting me? Now we're both going to die." Mm-hmm. The scorpion looked back down at him and said, "It's just my nature."
For those who don't know the story of Freakazoid, a young geek named Dexter Douglas received a computer chip as his Christmas gift, but if a special code were ever typed into the computer and then deleted, a flaw in the chip would open up a rip in the fabric of space, pulling the user into the internet and endowing him with incredible powers. But with all that power came extreme unpredictability. But enough about Windows Vista, let's get back to Freakazoid.
You're not so real.
But when you think about Freakazoid, you just don't mean Freakazoid. You think of an entire cast of the funniest characters in animation. To be honest, there were so many characters I considered featuring. Like Sergeant Mike Cosgrove, voiced by Ed Asner. He's a gruff but lovable cop and best friend to Freakazoid.
Hey Freakazoid, wanna go out for a mint? You wanna go to the Honey Harvest Festival in Acton? You wanna go out for a snow cone?
You want to get a couple Asian hookers?
Do I?
Or Dr. Jaime, who despite being seen only a few times left a real impression on me as Freakazoid's closest scientific hand.
It is my business to know monsters, my friend.
And thus the real game begins, where you travel across a vast ocean from island to island. To me, this is a good argument against the claims that all Zelda games are just retreads of one another. Yes, there are similarities in this one, but this sailing aspect really adds a new dimension. There's a whole new sense of adventure as you travel across open waters, looking ahead to what approaches on the horizon. Like in Ocarina, the time changes from day to night, and there's a real serene setting. Well, except for the storms, pirates, whirlwinds, and the piranha pea-hats! Good freaking night, what is wrong with these game designers? The giant pea-hats in Ocarina were bad enough, but now we have huge glaring fish that fly with propellers and chase you? How much more nightmare fuel can they create? As you travel, you have to draw out your map, or rather your chart as sea language goes, with the help of some crotchety old fish who also give you hints to the islands.
As I said, I think there was a wasted opportunity with the Cryptofreak here to really explore this kid's tendency to overextend himself, maybe delve into his backstory a little, and tell us why he's such an overachiever. We don't even meet this guy's parents, and how being stretched too thin drives him insane, even with superpowers to help him. Obviously, you'd still want to keep the focus on your main characters and not let the Cryptofreak take over, as we've seen with episodes like Cool, but Ian could have been fleshed out and made a lot more believable, I think, and his motivation, just wanting to get ahead in life, is interesting enough. I kind of wanted to see it. I also want to know more about how his powers work, because out of a couple dozen Cryptofreaks, his is the power most unlike any I've seen before. When Ian Xeroxes off another copy of himself, what happens to that copy later? Does he have to somehow integrate it back into himself? Only one Ian dies at the end. Will he be able to make others? In hindsight, I know the answer to that. He's going to appear one more time, and will indeed, in that episode, make another copy of himself. And that only makes me wonder about it more. Is the first copy that died the only one he's used before, or have there been others wandering around? And what about the more metaphysical questions? The other Ian doesn't have exactly the same experiences as the original, and as the saying goes, we are the sum of our experiences.